What if the future of manufacturing doesn't belong to giant factories on the other side of the planet? What if it belongs to a small, smart workshop a few blocks from your home? For decades, the global economy ran on one basic idea: make things far away, make them cheaply and ship them everywhere. It looked efficient. It looked unstoppable. But in 2026, that model is starting to crack. Shipping routes are fragile, energy costs swing wildly, climate disasters disrupt transport, political tensions can delay parts for weeks, and suddenly a product that once felt simple now travels through a maze of risk before it ever reaches your hands. That is exactly why one of the most important manufacturing ideas of this era is not a bigger factory, it is a smaller one. A microfactory is a compact, highly automated production space that can create products close to where people actually live. Instead of massive centralized plants making millions of identical items, microfactories are designed for on-demand manufacturing. They produce what is needed, where it is needed, when it is needed. Often, they combine 3D printing, robotics, AI-based design, optimization, and digital production systems that let a tiny facility do work that once required an industrial giant. And here is where it gets exciting. This is not just about convenience. This is about the sovereignty of production. Because when a region can make its own furniture, tools, replacement parts, housing components, medical accessories, or custom devices locally, it becomes less dependent on distant supply chains. It becomes more resilient. It becomes faster. And in many cases, it becomes cleaner too, because fewer things have to be boxed, shipped, warehoused, and transported across oceans and continents. Think about how strange the old system really was. Imagine needing one small replacement part for a machine, and that part has to travel across countries, ports, trucks, warehouses, and customs checkpoints before finally arriving. That is not just slow. That is carbon-heavy, fragile, and expensive. Now imagine a different model. The broken part is scanned locally. AI adjusts the design. A nearby microfactory prints or fabricates the replacement, using the exact amount of material required. If possible, that material comes from locally recycled plastic, reclaimed metal, or regional industrial waste. Instead of waiting a month, you wait a day. Instead of importing the object, you transmit the design. That is a huge shift. We are moving from transporting products to transporting instructions. And once that happens, manufacturing starts to feel less like a faraway empire and more like a neighborhood utility. This idea becomes even more powerful when you apply it to everyday life. Let's say you build a creative retreat, a playhouse, or a personal hobby space. In the old world, customizing that space would mean searching catalogs, ordering standardized products, and trying to make mass-produced items fit your weird, beautiful, specific vision. In the microfactory world, the process flips. You want a desk shaped perfectly for your room, made locally. A custom shelf that fits an awkward corner, made locally. A replacement hinge, a unique lamp frame, a bike rack, a storage unit, even decorative pieces made from recycled neighborhood waste. All possible on demand. Your space becomes less dependent on what stores happen to stock, and more connected to what your local production ecosystem can create. That changes the psychology of ownership. You are no longer just a consumer buying whatever exists. You become a participant in design. And when entire communities start thinking that way, local economies wake up. Small workshops gain importance. Skilled technicians matter more. Designers, repair specialists, recyclers, and digital fabricators become part of the same ecosystem. Waste becomes feedstock. Distance becomes less important. Flexibility becomes everything. We are already seeing early versions of this logic in the real world. Projects in localized additive manufacturing are showing how products can be produced close to the point of use, while circular microfactory models are turning local plastic waste into new goods right on site. Meanwhile, industry leaders continue to describe localized production and AI-driven manufacturing as major trends, shaping the next stage of industrial production. Of course, microfactories will not replace every large factory on Earth. Mass production still matters. Heavy industry still matters. Global trade is not disappearing. But that is not the point. The point is that the world no longer wants to rely on only one production model, because one giant fragile chain is a risk. A distributed network of smaller, smarter, more local production nodes is a strategy. And in an age of climate pressure, resource limits, and geopolitical uncertainty, strategy matters more than ever. This is why the microfactory revolution could become one of the defining stories of the next decade. Not because it looks futuristic, but because it solves something painfully real. It shortens supply chains, it cuts waste, it reduces unnecessary transport, it supports customization, it strengthens regional resilience, and perhaps most importantly, it gives communities a little more control over the objects their lives depend on. That is bigger than manufacturing. That is a redefinition of power. For years, the world asked, who can make the most? Now a new question is rising. Who can make what they need, right where they are? And maybe that is the smarter future. Not one giant factory feeding the whole world, but thousands of intelligent workshops humming quietly in cities, towns, industrial districts, and neighborhoods. Not production from somewhere else, production from here. If this future scales, the factory of tomorrow may not sit behind barbed wire at the edge of a faraway industrial zone. It may sit much closer, smaller, cleaner, smarter, and maybe finally human-sized.